Okay, guys, I've been getting some questions a lot lately asking me about the pencils that I use and how do I get the effects that I get on whenever I draw. So I kind of just wanted to give you a little bit of um peek into some of the tools that I use. This is my little work table. I lay out some of my tools just to show you what I use. And here I have some of my brushes because whenever I use the Derwent pencils, I like to have brushes on hand so I can pick and choose the type of brush that I want. And next to that, you see my stumps, the different stumps that I use for shading. And then these are my Statler or Statler pencils. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but you can see by the size of them that I've been using them a lot. And next to that, these are the really basic brushes that I use whenever I use the brushes. So I just sit them right next to the pencils that I use so I can have them handy and ready to use. As you can see, I'm getting kind of down to the nitty gritty here with my pencils. My Derwent watercolor or water soluble pencils. This one is the 4B. This is the HB, the light wash. And this one is the 8B, the dark wash. Um, they're getting small, but I make use of all of my tools. You can see this is the kit for the Statler or Statler brand. And so anyway, once these pencils are gone, I've already purchased another set. So I'll be ready when that one is gone. And I get two of each in the set, two 8Bs, two 4Bs, and two HBs. And right next to the pencils, I have my erasers. This is just one of them that I use. And the, can't pronounce this brand. I use that too. And the little bits and pieces of the pencils. Main eraser whenever it breaks off. That's my cup of water that I have ready. So whenever I use my paintbrushes for that water-soluble pencil, then I'm ready to just a regular cup of water. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. And so these are just some of the tools that I use. So next, I want to show you. Okay, guys, so I showed you my pencils and stumps and everything else, but now I want to show you the paper that I'm using. Okay, first of all, this I usually draw upright. This paper is on my drawing board, and the drawing board is on my easel. There's my lamp on my easel. So I usually secure my paper to the board. And when you use the water soluble pencils, make sure you're using watercolor paper or something that's able to hold the water, because if you apply water to any paper, that paper could warp. So you don't want your paper warping. So make sure you're using a watercolor paper. This is a Strathmore brand, and it's 140-pound cold press. And so since I'm using the water soluble pencils, I'm using this paper. So anyway, just say I want to draw an eye. So I draw the eye and say I want to create a little bit of a shadow around the eye. So I'm going to probably just lay it out with a regular pencil, but I'm not going to get into a full-blown drawing or anything. I just want to kind of show you how I get a little bit of the shading or shadowing with the pencils. So I take the water soluble pencil and I might lay a little bit down and just to create some shadow. But then I'll take a wet brush and then I wet it, and then I begin to spread the lead that I've laid on the paper. So that's how it works. if you want to get into practicing with the water-soluble pencils. If you want to spread in a bigger area, then you use a bigger brush. See, I've wet the brush so it can begin to spread some of the lead because it dries quickly. And if you don't work it right away or use it right away, you'll find yourself trying to work with it before it dries. So you just got to get used to it, play with it just to see what it does. I kind of use it like watercolor because I like to try and get a smooth effect. So anyway, just wanted to show you a little bit of how I use what I use because I've been getting a question a lot. So I just wanted to show you. Anyway, this is Sonia Walker from Sonia Walker Creations, and I hope this helped with some of the questions that you have. If not, you got to keep exploring, keep trying new things until you find what works for you. But that's the most important part, finding what works for you. So until next time.